Before I really get into this commentary, I have to actually insert this correction. In the video that you're about to hear, I made some minor mistakes when I was talking about this story, referring to it. I believe I put in there about it being an MLB game. This actually was the Little League World Series, not a Major League Baseball game that the team went to. So if you just hear me saying that in the video itself, just kind of omit that part and refer back to the correction that I'm inserting right here, that it was not a MLB game. It was the Little League World Series. With that being said, let's get into the video. What y'all about to hear is like something so disturbing and so humiliating at the same time. Y'all can look at this picture right here and pretty much already know where this is going. But in case you don't, go ahead and just listen to this broadcast. And the only reason I'm not playing the video itself on here is because I believe this is coming from ESPN, and I ain't trying to deal with no copyright stuff. So y'all are just going to have to hear the audio itself, but it's literally coming from what you're looking at right here on your screen.
That's just little leaguers being little leaguers right there. Hey, next week's Sunday night baseball matchup should be a good one. Atlanta and St. Louis. Cardinals leading the Central. They finish up that three-game series at Busch, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, ESPN, Deportes, and Radio. And we'll start with 6 Eastern baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown. Why not, right? When in Rome. Are they taking the stuffing out of a stuffed animal? Is that how that's working?
Okay. So in case y'all did not understand or see what the hell was going on here, you had some little league team coming out of Iowa. I believe that hold on, I'm trying to see, where did this team come from? It said Midwest region, Davenport, Iowa. I can only assume that the black population is extremely small there. I mean, this is Iowa after all. Where they went to this game, it was an MLB game, Major League Baseball, for those of you who don't know. And they, just attended the game. These little terrorists around this black boy, yeah, I'm calling them little terrorists, took the stuffing out of their little stuffed animals or whatever the little green things are, and literally started putting the stuffing, which is cotton, on top of the boy's head to make it seem like, I don't know, like a cotton afro, or it almost looks like one of those wigs that they wore back in colonial times, like George Washington and all of them. That's what it kind of looks like. But look at the boy's face. Look at his face. This boy is so humiliated. As a matter of fact, let me get off of this so that little line is not in the way. Here's a better imagery of it. Look at his face. This boy is not smiling at all. He looks pissed. He looks like he wants to smack the shit out of all of them. And truthfully, honestly, if he decided to do so, he would have been well within his rights. And look at all the hands that are there. All them little palm colored hands. All putting the stuffing or the cotton from the stuffed animal onto this boy's head. Now, I looked at the roster of the team. He is one of 2 black kids on that entire roster. I'm not even surprised by that. It was to the point where when I looked at the roster of the team, I was looking only for him because I knew that he was on the team, that I didn't even pay attention that there was another black boy there until I saw he was like in the bottom right corner of the picture. And they think that this is so funny. But the reason why I played the audio is because listen to how the commentators were taught, literally you paid attention and listened to what they said. The first thing that came out of his mouth was little leaguers being little leaguers. I don't know in what world have I ever seen anybody on any team who's a child who plays little league or, pee-wee football, whatever, take the cotton out of a stuffed animal and then put it onto a boy's head or child's head like this. I've never seen that before. Now, there's a few things wrong with this. The obvious is that they put cotton on a black boy's head, and we know what the representation of cotton is when it comes to black people, and then literally putting it on his head. The other one is them literally pressing the cotton on his head like it's a new hair piece or something like that. You know how black people are when it comes to their hair, and how you have a lot of PC or white people out there who want to always touch black people's hair, like all the time, almost as if they're trying to experiment or try to come up with some kind of a concoction. I don't know what they want to do with them wicked hands. And number 3, and I'm sure there's others, but these are the 3 that I noticed. But number 3, this boy literally is embarrassed right now because they literally zoomed the camera in on him while they were doing this, and he's clearly not having fun. So now what went from just an isolated thing with just the team putting that on his head, they zoomed the camera in on him. So now everybody in the whole goddamn park is seeing this and probably laughing their ass off. And I'm sure this game was televised, so I'm sure people at home saw it too. But the people I want to hear from the most when it comes to this situation are his parents, because at this point, they're the only people that I need to hear from. I need to know what they're going to say about this. I need to know how they're going to address this. I need to know what kind of consequences these boys are going to face, if they're going to face any at all. Right now, I'm leaning more towards the latter, that they're not going to face any consequences. Because again, our pain and torture is their entertainment and joke. Like, these boys were too comfortable putting this on his head. I don't give a damn if the coach would have benched me. I would have helicoptered all their asses. I don't give a damn. I would have blacked out. And I'm going to piggyback off of a comment that I saw in here. Someone has said, I'm willing to bet that they've been abusing him, or that they've been doing stuff like this because it was too comfortable. Like I said, in the video itself, the boy did not crack one smile. Like, literally, how you see his face in this picture is how he was looking the entire time. He didn't find anything funny about this, and he shouldn't have, because it wasn't funny. Of course, you're going to have the trolls come along and say, why are you being so sensitive? Why are you being so this? Why are you being so that? Well, I got a question for y'all. Why were y'all so sensitive when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago and y'all want to defund the police? Didn't y'all just say that, we should stop being so sensitive and stop being victims, and Blue Lives Matter and MAGA and all of that shit? Pot, meat, kettle. A bunch of hypocrites they are. But I bet you if something was to be done to them in this manner that somehow disrespected their lineage, they would have every type of anti-whatever on their asses. But I'm willing to bet this is just going to be another little piece of dust in the wind. Here today, gone tomorrow. I don't even know if this even made major headlines. It should, but I know that if it didn't, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, they embarrassed this boy. This boy has been utterly embarrassed, and in a way, he's been buck broken for the world to see. He got his wake up call. I wish I knew this kid's name and I could literally tell him right now that, one, these little teammates, they're not your friend. If they say that your friend, they're not. Not one of them stopped either one of them from doing this. Even the ones that may not have participated, they didn't stop anything. They're just as guilty as the ones who were having fun putting the cotton on this boy's head. Like I said, he did not crack one smile. He was not enjoying this. All he wanted to do was to go to the game, enjoy the game with his teammates, not be made a spectacle of in front of millions of people. This is exactly why I have people in my comments. For those of you who are new, who are to my channel, this is why I have people in my comment section who always say, this is why we need to separate. A lot of them aren't saying that just to say it. This is exactly why they're saying it. But I really need to find out from his parents, what are they going to do about this? One, he doesn't need to be on that team anymore. Like, find him another activity he can do away from that, because he's around a toxic environment. And I also need to hear from the coaches. Y'all were there. As far as I know, y'all had to be chaperones. Why didn't y'all step in as the adults? Y'all are just as bad. I can only imagine what some of these kids are probably saying about him when he's not around. If they're willing to do this out in public, imagine what they're saying about him in private. I always say that whenever you deal with a racist, no matter what the age, they're one way with you in person, and behind your back, they're a whole nother way. At least the covert ones are. That's why we like ours out in the open, overt. And like I said, this passes on from generation to generation. People be like, oh, the ones coming up now, they're not bad like their parents. Bullshit. Because if that's the case, why we got all these goddamn mass shooters going around here? They're not of their parents' generation. Why do you got so many of them in these chat rooms or on 4chan or whatever, spewing some of the most hateful shit about black people? They're not of their parents' generation. They're of the generation that's probably behind me. And I'm a millennial, which means they're Gen X. Which means they were born in the late 90s, early 2000s. It doesn't matter what part of history we are in as far as years go, or what decade or millennium or century, whatever you want to call it. As long as this can be passed down, it's going to thrive. Like I said, they straight up embarrassed this boy on national television, where a lot of people were watching. And notice they kept the camera there for quite a while, because the clip that you heard lasted about 35 seconds. That's a long time, because I believe it was coming back from a break before they went back into the game. And he pivoted the camera to them and kept it there. Everyone else thought this was funny but him. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video on that note. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you are new, please be sure to go ahead and hit that bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. Also, be sure to check out all the links that'll be down in the description, and I will talk to you in the next one.